How many friends do you have on Facebook? And on Instagram, some people don't even have 100. Meanwhile, Saturn currently has 247 friendly moons, including Enceladus. So now try to believe that space is a deserted place. After recent discoveries, scientists had to reconsider their priorities and realize that it's not worth focusing on locations in the universe that are too far away. After all, life could emerge literally right under our noses. On Enceladus. Subscribe. Where did these conclusions come from? It's just that Enceladus is another object in the solar system with a hypothetical global body of water inside. And where there is liquid, it's quite possible that life is thriving. Actually, Enceladus is quite an intriguing Saturnian moon. It's tiny, only 500 kilometers in diameter, about the size of Iceland, a completely frozen world beneath whose icy shell, according to many astronomers, a water ocean is splashing. But how did we find out about this? After all, no one has ever landed on the surface of Enceladus, a celestial body 25 times smaller than Earth. Yes, of course, there were no manned missions, but for many years the Cassini interplanetary spacecraft orbited near this moon. So what did it find out? Despite its rather modest size, the object is incredibly active. National Aeronautics and Space Administration specialists claim that Enceladus is literally bursting at the seams from the overwhelming energy inside it. To back up their claims, they show this photograph. What does it show? Here, Enceladus clearly demonstrates the process of cryovolcanism. It is in this that the first evidence of possible life in the ocean of this moon lies. The geysers of Enceladus, through cracks that have formed in its icy crust, eject enormous plumes into space filled with water vapor, gases, trace elements, and ice particles. The height of these plumes is astonishing. It reaches up to 500 kilometers. Moreover, the particles from the geysers even fill one of Saturn's rings, the densest one, the so-called E ring. By studying the composition of these plumes, scientists are gradually learning what Enceladus's ocean is made of. And for this, there's no need to organize a record-breaking expensive expedition or drill through the many kilometers of the celestial body's crust. By the way, how thick is Enceladus's ice shell? It's believed to be about 30 kilometers deep. Then what incredibly powerful processes could have formed such impressive geysers? Could a layer of water under pressure really break through such a thickness? The answer is simple. Such fountains are mostly observed in the southern hemisphere of Enceladus, where the crust is significantly thinner in many places, only about 5 kilometers thick. So, what has been discovered in the graceful plumes of this mysterious moon? According to studies by the Cassini spacecraft, which repeatedly flew past Enceladus during its mission and even entered the plumes ejected by the moon, many new facts have been revealed. Pause for a moment and take a look at this photo. Do you see the tiny object hovering above the surface of Saturn's moon? This is the fragile but persistent Cassini probe, tirelessly working in a hostile and dangerous environment so that people on Earth can gain new knowledge about the world around them. It is known that data from such probes is decoded and analyzed by scientists for quite a long time, and only then is gradually made public. Thus, thanks to Cassini, the world learned what the ocean on Enceladus is made of, and this seriously raised the stakes, putting this celestial body at the forefront of the list of potentially habitable worlds. So, what did the group of scientists from Heidelberg University, including Nozera Kavaja, Frank Postberg, Ferdinand Stolz, and Bernal Abel, discover? During the analysis of data from Cassini's instruments, namely Cosmic Dust Analyzer and Ion and Neutral Mass Spectrometer, it turned out that organic cations are present in the plumes erupting from the depths of Enceladus. What does this mean? This indicates that the ocean's liquid contains complex, poorly soluble organic molecules made up of hundreds of atoms, including oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, aromatic structures, and carbon. They may form a thin film on the surface of this body of water and later, under the influence of gases, are ejected as plumes at a speed of 2 kilometers per second. By the way, it is precisely because of the tremendous acceleration that the particles overcome the moon's gravity and head straight for Saturn's rings. That is, the geysers on Enceladus contain almost all the ingredients needed to make the so-called primordial soup necessary for the emergence of carbon-based life forms. So the puzzle comes together. There is liquid water, there is energy from hydrothermal vents with temperatures ranging from 90 to 200 degrees Celsius. Complex organic compounds are present. Bingo. It would be interesting to hear the deafening whistle as these spectacular geysers shoot out from under the icy crust. We managed to simulate a sound that's as close to realistic as possible. To temper the excitement about this discovery a bit, it's worth mentioning the doubts expressed by Frank Postberg, a member of the research team. The scientist believes that in the hot environment of hydrothermal vents under high pressure, these complex organic compounds could have formed abiotically, not related to living organisms, but through a non-biogenic process. To test this hypothesis, more missions are needed, since there are still too many gaps in the information. However, at the moment, Enceladus remains the only object besides our planet where all these components have been found: liquid water, complex organic compounds, and chemical energy. Neither Mars nor Europa has this combination of conditions at all. But why does the liquid in Enceladus's ocean show hydrothermal activity? How did sources similar to black smokers on Earth appear in the depths of an icy celestial body orbiting in the dead vacuum? Scientists suggest two reasons for the formation of this phenomenon. The first is the radioactive decay of elements in Enceladus's core, and the second, which is more likely, is tidal deformation caused by Saturn's immense gravity. It is assumed that the temperature in the upper layers of the ocean is about minus 45 degrees Celsius, which is significantly higher than on the surface. But the deeper you go, the warmer the water becomes, so further down it can reach about plus 1 degree Celsius, which is comparable to some locations in Earth's oceans. Through careful analysis of data from the Cassini probe, specialists also found that the composition of water on Enceladus may be close to that of Earth's. In particular, it contains salt. What else can this moon surprise us with? In particular, National Aeronautics and Space Administration employees were impressed by this image, which shows a fragment of Enceladus's surface. What exactly does this shot illustrate? These are the so-called tiger stripes, which indicate the moon's once active geological past. Take a closer look at the image. Where do you think these distinct yet chaotic fractures and flat craters could have come from? Doesn't Enceladus look like a giant snowball from afar? Cassini was able to get such detailed photographs because of repeated maneuvers near the moon. Once it flew just 175 kilometers above the surface of the icy moon. In the images, astronomers were even able to see ice blocks up to 100 meters in size. After studying these photographs, Piotr Thomas, a member of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration Monitoring Group, based at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York, couldn't help but remark that no one expected such a landscape from Enceladus. Why, after analyzing the images taken from Cassini, do scientists determine the surface age of Enceladus to be implausibly young? The studied moon surface fragment is thought to be only 100 to 300 million years old, and up to 500 million in some areas, and that's extremely little. It turns out that this is facilitated by geyser activity, which periodically renews the surface, erasing old traces. By old traces, even huge craters are meant. So essentially Enceladus, thanks to the cracks on its surface through which geysers shoot out like cannons, remains forever young. By the way, the geothermal sources inside the moon are constantly fueled by the gravity not only of Saturn, but also of Enceladus's closest neighbor, Dione. It's noteworthy that the northern hemisphere of Enceladus, which is much less geologically active, is covered with a large number of rather ancient craters. Their age reaches up to 4 billion years. However, even under such conditions, thanks to tectonic fractures, the surface is steadily renewed, just more slowly and only partially. A computer simulation was organized where the current level of meteorite impacts in the Saturn system was included as one of the input parameters. It turned out that everything matches. For the past 300 million years, there haven't been any significant bombardments. So it's quite logical that the surface of Enceladus looks almost untouched. Will there ever be a manned mission to this moon? At the moment, especially in light of the information we've obtained, Enceladus is a priority target for astrobiologists. The thing is, if we compare this celestial body to Europa, which is also under close scrutiny by scientists, studying the liquid in Enceladus' subsurface ocean is much easier than with Jupiter's moon. On Europa, geysers are extremely rare and random. So to study the composition of its ocean, it would be necessary to drill through a very thick crust. At the moment, this seems like science fiction, whereas any probe can fly through the plumes released from Enceladus's ocean. The second positive point is the low gravity of Saturn's moon, which will make it easier for shuttles to land and take off if they reach the object. And the final argument is that organic molecules and other conditions for the potential emergence of life have already been found on Enceladus, so it makes more sense to focus on studying this particular celestial body. As for a manned mission, things are not so simple here. What will astronauts feel on Enceladus? Won't such an experience turn out to be their last? Enceladus is very different from Earth. A simple example, what cosmonauts hold in their hands has a certain weight on Earth, while on Enceladus that object would become almost weightless. What does this mean in practice? If you don't hold any object tightly enough, you could accidentally launch it into space. By the way, if we exaggerate a bit, even the astronaut himself could accidentally go on an unplanned journey. Because taking off from the surface of Enceladus is as easy as sending 2 bytes, since the escape velocity here is only 239 meters per second. In addition to all that, the presence of Saturnian radiation will pose a threat to electrical equipment, which means it will interfere with communication and the life support systems of the modules. Moreover, the spacesuits of the mission members could fail unreasonably quickly due to the intense radiation, and that is a direct threat to the lives of the colonists. All of this is partially offset by the surreal landscape, dazzling snowy plains, magnificent geysers, diamond hail from settling fountains, and giant Saturns overhead. However, the incredible distance from Earth, 1.4 billion kilometers, complete isolation in the silent cosmos, and the freezing cold, since the surface temperature on Enceladus is about minus 200 degrees Celsius, can inspire existential awe even in the most stoic astronaut. Maybe you have some ideas on how to personally visit Enceladus, successfully explore its 10-kilometer deep ocean, and not get wiped out. Write in the comments. Don't miss any updates and share the video with your friends. New exciting episodes are coming soon. But this is not the end. More missions are coming. And the Hubble channel will continue to cover all major planetary events as much as possible. So let's get 20,000 big electronic likes under this video. And a new, very, very exciting episode will be released on the channel right away. See you soon.